Hello and welcome again, San Marcos family. I'm glad you're here. If this is the first time you're coming to see me, I appreciate your time, and I'm going to make your time as efficient as possible to get to the point and really give you information that I believe will help you do what you need to do in a real estate market. This whole program is all about educating you and giving you information. So if you were to buy or sell, you have a better perspective on things of how to do it and what to do exactly. Anyway, just to throw this out there, my name is Orzhel. I'm a broker owner of Realty Max. And like I said, I primarily service San Marcos area, but I'm all over the place. As they said, a good doctor is always needed everywhere. So what am I going to talk about? Before we get going, most people know me because, well, I know how to bring some mojo to your listing to get it sold, to provide leverage, to provide, bring more buyers, and really make it a magnetic listing. And ultimately, we do it really quickly. Now, we don't sell homes just to do it quickly, just for the sake of quickly. We do it because we know homes that sell within the first week end up selling for a lot more than homes that stay in the market for a week or two or three. This is just a fact of the game, and we'll cover that in a second. So, as always, I want to start with the most important part because real estate is driven by interest rates. So, what I want to do is look at the interest rate as we're talking here. So, let's look at the rates here. As you can see, we've been kind of bobbing along here, right? A bit of a roller coaster. We kind of came down to 5.44 in February. I'm sorry, about right at 6, right below 6 in February. And then we've gone up. And so, like I said, we're still at 6.5. I know a lot of you may be hoping to see rates in the 2% and 3% range. To be perfectly honest, I don't think we're going to see that. I think it's a once in a lifetime occurrence. And if that were to happen, we would have to have some kind of what I call a black swan event, maybe another pandemic, maybe a war, something that is significant for the Fed to lower the rates low enough to maintain this economy, right? Because the economy usually starts falling through the bottom. So they would be there to support it. But overall, as you can see, the rates are still kind of right around 6.5%. It all depends on credit. It all depends, again, on the time, how much money you're putting down. So it all will vary. But I think we just did one, and it was a loan of about $1 million, which is considered a high balance loan. And I believe the rate on that, we were able to get it down to about 6.25 or something like that. So we're always doing what we can to bring you the best possible rates. So what's going on with the market, right? Again, market is driven by rates. So with that said, the market is pretty much even. Yes, we have more listings, as you read, on the market. San Marcos, depending where you're at, we have anywhere from 25 to 35% more homes in the market than we did last year at the same time. So there's been a significant jump in people selling their home. Most people that I run into, they're selling their home because they want to move out of state. They've had enough of California here and they just want to get out of California. And that's okay. That's one reason to do it. Other people are selling because they're getting older and it's hard for them to climb, the second story, or they want to move closer to their kids, or some other reason. People are just not selling just to sell it. There's usually a reason behind it. And I always tell people you shouldn't sell your home just because the market's right or anything else. You sell when you need to sell, right? So when people ask me when is a good time to sell, I sell when you need to sell. That's the bottom line, right? Because we can't time the market. I don't have a crystal ball. It's all kind of depends on what's going on at the time. So overall, and you've seen this before, I'm going to pop it up again for you. So you probably have seen this slide before, and I'll bring it back right here. As you can see that this is a typical graph that represents market timing as far as you listing the property. As you can see, the best time to get the home sold is within the first few days, but usually no more than a week. Anything after that becomes a downhill race. Uphill battle, I should say, and it becomes more and more difficult to get you the absolute top price. So when I say we're going to sell your home fast over the first weekend, I'm not saying that because we want to have some kind of a fire sale. I'm talking about strategic approach to selling where you can actually maximize your price. And if you got my newsletter, you already see in the bottom that past 5 years, our average is about close to 6.9% over asking price, which is a significant amount, right? And sometimes we've hit 4%, sometimes we've hit as high as 30%. It varies depending on the situation, demand on the property, etc. But overall, our average is about 6.9%, which is, it's a significant amount. We're looking at about $70,000 more on $1 million home, which is our average here in San Marcos. So something you probably want to keep in mind. So what else do I want to cover? Homes are selling. Homes that do not have value, meaning that buyers don't see value in it, stay in a market longer. Ultimately, they end up dropping the price again. I can show you some examples of that later. But overall, things have not changed. Dynamics of the markets are staying the same. If you have a great home and you strategically price the home, and it's really important to be able to strategically price it so you can really take advantage and leverage of the market to get you the highest price, you are going to get the absolute top dollar. At least that's what we do. And I can only speak for myself. Everybody else does what they do. And I believe I mentioned on other videos, I have people that come to me and sometimes they don't hire me because I tell them the price they're asking for is going to cause them to actually either not sell or sell for much less than they're hoping to get. Or on the other side, I walk away from listing, and there's multiple examples of that. I have, I've just looked up a listing in the area of San Marcos Lake. It's been over a year now, and they're with agent 2, and they dropped the price. What's that old saying, right? You can drag the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. This is one of those situations where I have to say no because I don't want to be the one that puts in the work knowing that's not going to happen. Now, there's many schools of thoughts, and one of school of thoughts for some agents is it doesn't matter, take the listings, let the seller figure it out themselves that they're asking for too much money, and then they're going to drop the price. The problem with that is I'm a fiduciary, right? I'm a fiduciary of the seller. And for me to do that would be dishonest and not serving the seller's needs. Because every seller, in majority of cases, wants to get the absolute highest price, right? And there's really only one way to do it, because listings that are fresh in the market, that are strategically priced and strategically ready for the market, will get multiple offers and will get bid up to the absolute full potential of the listing. So you really have to keep abreast of that and understand what's going on. So with that said, let me jump on your particular market and tell you a little more about what's going on. So let's jump on Santa Fe Hills, right? Let me bring this in so we can look at the same thing here. Okay, Santa Fe Hills, as I told you, there's more listings in the market. As you can see, overall, we have about 14. Now, about 7 of those 14 is in the older Santa Fe Hills area. So everything that's KB built or Lennar, the new stuff above Las Posas, is another 7. Overall, it's still quite a bit of inventory. Last year, we probably had half of that at most. Some listings still in the market. I see 710 Casitas still on, but things are moving, right? Looks like we have, let's see what we have here. Avenida Abeja's in the market, 765. Cuerda Bagalso's in the market. We have one on Loma Alta Drive that just came on. And this one is actually a flip. And here's a story on this one, just so you know. I can bring this up. This gentleman spoke to me earlier, probably last year, and I kind of knew the situation. The home was not in great shape, and he needed to do some work. And as you know, I actually offer like $30,000 where I front the money for them to get things done, so you can present in the best way. But like I said, people do what people do. You can bring the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So anyway, this home sold for about $900,000. Looks like investor picked it up, and they have it back in the market in $1,050,000, right? $150,000 over. There was really not a lot wrong with the property. It was more cosmetic, but again, same situation. You want to make sure the home is ready. This home was in the market probably for about 3-4 months with multiple price reductions. So anyway, that's all I want to say on that one. So Beja just came on the market. Kaylee, that's in one of the Lennar homes. Tesora's in the market. Has been in the market for about 20 some days, 1,170,000. But we have some pendings, right? We have Feather spending. It was in the market 5 days. Lindbergh, again, that's one of the Lennar homes. Amistad was in the market 44 days, right? I think this was in and out of escrow, so it fell through. One of Loma Alta, a home, as you can see, it was on the market for 3 days, and originally was priced at 1.5499, and they dropped it pretty quickly to 1.4. This is a large home with a pool, but again, it kind of hits the point I've been trying to make to you. It's really important to read the market. That's what we do right away. So before your home goes on the market, we usually start marketing about a week before that. And at that point, we will listen to the market. We have ways for people to register and to understand, are we going to have this kind of influx of buyers that we want to push up the price as much as possible. But anyway, I just want to bring this to you so you can see that. All right, so what else we have here? We have, looks like Barquero, 827. Looks like they haven't sold the price. We'll see what it's going to close at. That's more interesting, right? Hydra, that's slightly out of our neighborhood, but anyway, that looks like it was on the market for 64 days. Again, it went from 1,270,000. They dropped the price from 1.2, that's 70,000, and it ultimately sold for 1,150,000. So that's about $120,000 difference. Once again, homes that sell over one weekend get done for more. Oh, I forgot to mention, if for some reason you want more information on my program, how we do things, again, feel free to hit in72.com and you can get some more information over there. You have a way of contacting me as well. Okay, so let's move on with other things here. All right, what else we have? We have a couple of other closed. Avenida Regina closed. Again, it's slightly out of our neighborhood. Loma Alta closed. That was on the market for 10 days. 4-bedroom, 3-bath. Slightly over 3,000 square feet. Asking price was 1,295,000, and they got 1,295,000. Again, 10 days, very close time frame, right? It was done correctly. So, I mean, more or less, I think that's all I wanted to present to you. If you're looking to sell and, you have, based on your time horizon, you really want to get in touch with me so we can talk and kind of get things situated. And it depends how much work you need to do. Maybe nothing, but sometimes you do. And it depends how much money you have available to you and how quickly you want to do it. It's all will depend. So every person, every situation is a little different. But one thing never changes. I 100% am going to get you more money substantially more money than anyone else that you're going to talk to in the market, period. And that's my promise. Anyway, I want to sign off. Lee Orzhel, Realty Max. Thank you for showing up and listening to this, and I'll talk to you next month.